for your team. You have a pseudo flash with paranoia that gives you the near sight. You also have global smokes, a teleport for information and a teleport for reposition. There is a lot of value that you get out of this. But Cutler does get a deep cam here on B, which Poise does manage to sniff out quickly. And Cutler is going to be trapped inside of this cubby here for the time being, as Poise and Shanks will continue to work that. No real activity happening on B side. Meanwhile, on A, you're seeing that same thing that Subrosa was doing before, taking Gelato control away from the opposing team. Wardell's going to be playing a close angle here with the shorty. There goes the drone, and actually he's going to back away from this completely. There's a drone is going to take him away, but that does give him some information, and they will be able to drop back to one another. While that push happens, Wardell, he's going to tag one and get a kill. But he has to be careful here. He swaps that out, not able to secure that one against Def. That was a big kill that Def needed to secure. That is going to give him some intel, and now they can play this one safely. But watch out, though. Look at where the spike is. Shanks is really far up here on A by himself.
Yeah, and you can see his teammates are starting to rejoin him as they have effectively reset the situation. But there's info for TSM as Cutler's found out everything going towards B main. So they know TSM know it's going to be an A hit at this point. It's just a question of where. Is it Cat or is it a main? And there it is, a shorty up close and personal from Drone, able to pick up one as they find out that indeed it is going to be this A hit. Shanks with a double on the entry, and that will be the spike planted. But now that there's a 2v3 retake, 1-3-2, if the action's even too fast to call, there's no respite from the action here as they go toe-to-toe with these pistols. Hayes is really in a troublesome position, able to cut off one of the angles there with the dark cover, trying to isolate these 1v1s. He has to try to get into the minds of his opponents here. Will they just push this smoke? He's waiting for it. He knows that this could be a play. And
oh, what a shot.
He's so smart. Can he finish it off here? One more player to go, but Hayes, he can't complete the clutch. It was a great effort, and Poise will lock it down.
Yeah, Poise actually was great that round. He got that camera at the beginning of the game to just give them like no vision and just put a little fear, right? Make them think that they were going to be focusing on B side. And while that was going on, though, I commend Subrosa for how he was pushing into Gelato, but he got forced back, right? The drone actually pushed him away. He took a lot of damage. And had drone been healthier, he could have been a threat in the back where Poise was located. But a Ghost versus a Classic, you got to give the nod to the Ghost in those situations there. And now we go in here with Dignitas getting a round win, and you know they have to be feeling really good about that after what happened on Bind.
Yeah, it's actually crazy because what if Dig just keep defying our expectations? Every single time we thought they would get wrecked on Haven and win Bind, but they wrecked TSM on Haven and then got absolutely destroyed on Bind. You know, like we were expecting the Ascent would be very uncomfortable for them, but you know, it's like I thought that they keep creating these really weird games for us, and we just never know what to expect, and perhaps that will continue.
Just goes to show you how far we have to go in Valorant as well, right? Like, what is it, the slogan for the game? Defy expectations or whatever, yeah. Defy the limits. Maybe that's what Dignitas are doing here. They're trying to defy the limits. They're bought into the marketing speak.
We do have right now still a 5v5, less than a minute to go, and Dig are very worried about the pistols that they know surely are lurking around some of these corners, and they've got to be really cautious not to get killed in a way where they're dying in an untradeable situation. That's what you have to worry for. And we got the paranoia set up on Catwalk there. It will go through though, but there won't be any play behind it. So it's pressure towards A, but I think this is fairly transparent for TSM. We'll see though if they have enough players in the positions they need to deal with it. As Hayes goes down, maybe the answer is no.
Okay, so Poise is going to try and cause some disruption over here as Cutler was inside of the cubby. Poise goes on top of the wall. Very common spot that you'll see Sages take as they rest inside of B main for the time being here. No angles now can actually be given. They are going to have to play around the coverage. Spike not down quite yet, though. They finally are going to be able to accomplish that task. Only one player left alive. It is going to be Subrosa, and as good as he is with a Bulldog was all he had there. I mean, you're asking for a whole lot out of Rosen. I don't think that's really going to happen. The only other gun that he can swap out to is a Bulldog. That's like the worst thing possible. It's like you only have a small knife in your hand and you look over to your right and it's a pool noodle. You know, you just really don't have many other options. Maybe if they try and challenge this, he gets a kill out of it, but they're going to swarm him. They get it. 2 rounds for Dignitas. A nice start here for them after, as I mentioned earlier, what happened on Bind. Like, you know they're going to be reeling after that one, DDK. But now they're starting to see some success.
Yeah, and I like the anti-eco there, going mid to market and just having the presence on Catwalk to try to commit the defenders to stay there. The paranoia does that for a very cheap cost. But enough about that, as we have the buy round coming in for both teams, and the Bulldogs will continue for the Dig side, and we will get the the offense
Shanks is going to blade out.
meeting the defense here on A main, as we mentioned. But how much value will be gained here? It's such a back and forth of utility there, using the bounce of the arrows. A good set arrow there with the shock dart. We'll have to see though if how much do TSM want to challenge for this? They've got to be really careful. There's only 2 of them here, some great damage, some hot hands to slow things down as well. And they've got some really good info. I think that TSM really understand what's happening right now. They saw at least 2 or 3 players in that position. Dig have no other ground, so they're going to have to rotate out of this a little bit. They can't just walk into A now. They have to reset a little bit and then maybe come back to A later on now.
Yeah, and they got the intel that Phoenix and Sova were there, right? So Flash to try and stop them, they're going to be okay with that. As Shanks continues to push further into A main and get control of this with blades, he can actually be a problem here. No one will be there to stop Shanks if he goes inside of A, and they have grouped up. Def is going to be causing some problems. That camera was gorgeous. That's now actually forced them back and made them a little cautious as to what this look is going to be, but TSM has not bought into it quite yet. It is still just going to be Def inside of B main, trying to create some harass. Now the push is going to begin here, as they did get intel as to where Wardell was going to be located. That's going to be a huge plus for them. 2 players are going to be cut off by trees. They're going to knock down the wall. They're going to get this spike down here, and Shanks is already going to have that value with the blades as he kills Cutler.
Yeah, and the ice orbs are so strong. It's looking really good here, at least in the initial take of the site, but if you're trying to hold this site with no post-plant position, you don't have tree control, you don't have a main control at this point, although Cypher is close enough there, it's very difficult. But here's Shanks with the right click, ready to go, but Superman will be able to save his position, and he doesn't actually give anything away at this point. He might be able to play through the smoke into tree, so now this is the post-plant positioning you want, and Dig will hold on, it would appear. And I think that's this is a really great result, given how telegraphed this round has been. And they've got to be careful not to lose too much on the exits as they try to hunt down Drone and Wardell, but they will get rid of both of those guns. And I think Alex, when they reset, they got the Cypher going towards B main. It seemed like TSM just read that. They're like, we aren't believing this at all. It's Cypher. This is definitely a lurk, and not the whole team. Yeah,
and then they were prepared for it too. Once the paranoia was out, it didn't connect with anyone. But I will give Poise a lot of credit. He put that Bulldog to work on site, and the players that were challenging by tree, they were met with those shots that I'm sure that they were not going to be expecting. Shanks never had the opportunity to try and take tree, but it was okay because they managed to nail quite a few critical shots there to get them that round win. So 3 in a row for Dig now, as they're going to be favoring B main.
And the early cam there to try to take control of that position. Really important. Cam against cam action in a B main. And at the same time, we have the Phoenix Sova approach here from Sabrosa and Drone, but Sabrosa's going to go down to Superman. But Drone, is he going to try to just recommit into this? They may try to do that actually with Wardell, who's rotating towards A. So again, this is an interesting spot because they have A main, and they need to have A main because they've lost B main. They can't just lose everything. So it's really important that they try to hold on to this position, TSM. And Sam is going to drone through to create the pressure. And this is horrible right now for TSM because TSM, as far as they're concerned, they have no idea what is coming. And on B, Cypher's playing a possible retake scenario if he was going towards the spawn position, but now he's committed onto the site, and this might be too much right now. Cutler will go down straight away, and this is just a great play from Dig. The pressure game from them, they outmaneuvered their opponents completely.
Yeah, and there weren't really many options that TSM had. They were saving. They're quite poor right now, and there was just a few, like, you know, you're making the best out of a bad situation if you're TSM, right? But I do love the fact that they pinned back this Drone and Wardell on A and just left Cutler to have to be the one to handle the entirety of that round, which, as we can see now, clearly has paid off. 3 players are going to try and retake this here against Dignitas, or at the very least, maybe see if they can wrestle some guns away from them and use that in the next round here. Shanks with this shorty right outside. As Def gets another kill. Actually, Def is going to get 2, and he's been just on point this game. Very impressed with how he's been playing. Wardell in the exit. Oh, hey, that could work out. Nah, it doesn't. And Dignitas, they're going to get 4. What world are we living in right now, DDK, where like this team does not look like the same squad that just played Haven. Like, this is like what we saw in, Bind, but this is like what we saw in Haven earlier.
Yeah, and I think there's actually more options to shut down Wardell. I think, on a map like this, and given the fact that they have the Omen, and just the way that you can play it, because you can play the extremities pretty heavily and go into those delayed mid takes, where it's easier than to isolate Wardell, and it's more difficult for Wardell to safely do things. So we'll see how that dynamic plays out as we look at the opening of this round. And again, we get more pressure, 3-man push on A main coming in there from TSM. Again, making sure that they have that A main control. Dig, though, they haven't consistently pressured it. They've been okay to give it up and take B main and mid instead. So this is the concession that TSM is making, that they, so long as they can have A main control, they're okay giving up other parts of the map in the early round timing. And now as they go into and really abuse that mid control, ooh, okay, are those for Catwalk? That's pretty cool for the tree position. That's really interesting. I actually haven't seen that.
I haven't seen
those
that.
cages. That's really cool. So
and let's not forget, too, that whole B main play that they made there, that was to get Orb. So now they have Hunter's Fury available for Psalm, and he's like one of the best when it comes to being able to just go for a dry Hunter's Fury, just looking for common angles.
They're going to try to fake towards A here. With those cages, with the Omen and the Sova towards A, the Sova can like drone back in towards A. They can create pressure. The Omen can smoke it or Paranoia into the tree position. Put the cages up.
Oh, he's doing this to just draw the attention. That's exactly what he's doing here. Now, they're okay with this, but Subroza, while that's going on, does manage to get the kill. So with the kill on Superman and Subroza, this now fake out that was happening was almost as if, like, Dignitas, they were faking themselves out in this instance with that play, and that ends up being a flawless round for TSM.
So what's really interesting here is, firstly, you hate to see it that TSM just flawlessly easily win this round that was carefully constructed to be this awesome fake. But what's actually quite funny about it is that maybe those cages are potentially a huge tell, because this is the first time we've seen Dig use those cages. TSM might know something that we don't about Dig, about certain tells that may indicate that this is very likely a fake, because it didn't seem that there was any info for TSM to necessarily, at least what we saw on camera, for them to know that that was a fake, but they read it instantly. So, and that's the first round that they win. So we'll see if they can continue it. They run it back to take Gelato control. This is huge, that recon dart behind it, and now TSM know that Dig have to be in mid and B main at the early round.
But I think Dig were okay with that. They were okay with them knowing that, because if you go to the tape, Subroza does this pretty much all the time here. So the trade comes through. 3 players are going to be tackling on that site. Wardell's going to be playing the corner. He gives himself some coverage. Beautiful shot from Cutler as he was by the steps there. Wardell will be prepared for any of the players that come out of main. Good try, Shanks. Try again next time. Although Superman does manage to get a kill, he's going to land right in front of Wardell. And now TSM are starting to come right back into this one here, and it's not necessarily getting scary for Dignitas, but TSM are getting that confidence back without a doubt.
And so there's like 2 things here from a round like that. When you are in this position where, let's say, you're in Dignitas' shoes and you lose that A main control, and so at that point, again, the whole point of the defenders doing that is that they know what you're then doing because of where you're not.
True.
So they know that right now Dig are poised for a B hit. Now, if Dig have a really good set piece to B, that's fine that TSM know about it if their set piece is really strong. But given how well TSM defended there, Dig, if they find themselves in a similar position, they need to reset back and take A main control again. And they need to play that map control game.
Hunter's Fury actually is going to start things off, and then Subroza gets aggressive. So he waits for the Hunter's Fury to reactivate for the second shot, gets through it, and while that's going on, they're scrambling. They're trying to figure out how do they dodge this ultimate ability, and Subroza pops him right in the back. Now that's going to leave them 5v2, and we're starting to see some great pushes from TSM. And it all boils back, DDK, like you said before, about Gelato, how they never really allow them to get comfortable there. One round, you think maybe Dignitas has a set plan. The next round, TSM's like, no, we're just going to we're going to take this. This is our area now.
And this was Dig actually trying to punish Gelato control play. But
exactly.
Because there was a run it back there, they expected that Catwalk would be actually for free at that early round timing because all the players would be invested to A main. But it was only Subroza with the run it back and then the Hunter's Fury from Catwalk. So, and because OMEN was also in Catwalk, they're actually way more poised to defend Catwalk than A main. So Dig are thinking, we've outsmarted them here because they won't have anyone on Catwalk but at this timing, but in actual fact, unfortunately, that's not how that actually panned out in this round. So that's unfortunate because this is the moment, I think, where TSM switched that momentum. Because we can see Dig is just saving here. They don't really want to give away what they have. They need the money going into the next round.
Yeah, and Subroza is aware of this. I don't know if he's going to want to take this corner quite like this, but if they get a kill, they actually can get a res off, which would be nice. Oh, they're not. So that's basically going to be the round. I was always going to be the round there, but you have to wonder, like, if they were able to get a kill, they could eco-res. That hurts too. They could eco-res and then maybe try and salvage something out of that round. Doesn't work out that way. Now we're in a really, really precarious spot for Dignitas, who have looked good in the beginning. The playbook was vast, many, many chapters and pages of what TSM have done in the past, but TSM always give us something new to look at here on Ascent.
I would really like to see Dig going for the A main challenge here, especially because TSM just burned their ultimates. So it feels as if they should be able to have a more kind of fair fight around that position. And they need to keep conditioning TSM to want to invest into A main, because if TSM now think, oh well, Dig are a bit afraid of that now, then TSM will have more resources towards the other areas, which Dig are now going towards. So a nice, interesting play here from Superman, actually making his way through the dark cover in mid, finding that there's nobody here. So Superman's definitely in a good spot. He can also teleport past any tripwires, so that's also a big deal. But he actually breaks the trip, and that's going to force a dark cover, and that's going to set some alarm bells ringing as far as TSM are concerned towards the B play. But TSM just droned through towards A main and got some information. So this information war, man.
Yeah, this is it. It's like it's a proxy war, like what kind of info can you possibly get? And the timings there that TSM managed to get, it will give them the safety, the I guess peace of mind to be like, well, we're okay. We can just continue to play around A. We'll leave Cutler here at B still. That'll be fine.
It's so much about this angle from Sabrosa, because Sabrosa, with this angle, is basically at this point giving them enough information to know that an A hit's not coming. Sabrosa's here to delay, to get kills, and there is the fake with the, oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh my God! What a play! Sabrosa, though, is not able to follow up. Shanks does manage to get the kill, but waiting in the wings is going to be Wardell. He does not nail the shot, though. They do manage to get onto A. That play was unbelievable, but they are still going to be down here 2v4 as Shanks is trying to be the difference maker in this one. He's got 23 HP. The problem here, though, is that Wardell's going to have the beat on him. Does manage to get one shot, and then Hayes is there for the headshot, ending that one. But boy, oh boy, what a play that was. I mean, the teleport? That was so sick.
That's so amazing. And for those of you that are wondering what the hell just happened, basically they knew that someone was on that angle, so Superman teleports with his Omen ult into that angle to be a distraction, to pull the crosshair placement away from the angle where all of Superman's teammates are coming from. But Sabrosa didn't buy the bait, even though it was in his face. And he looks at it, he's like, hang on, I understand what's happening. Just pulls back and just very calmly goes back to the angle.
Now, I will say this much, though. Had Superman committed to the teleport, that would have been a problem. Superman actually called it back, because you can do that as Omen. They changed that. Maybe you're watching for the first time after a little while. Yeah. So Superman calls back over toward mid. He ends up dying immediately, but I think the play was that they wanted to try and take control of scaffolding and then pincer that. It just was not working out for them there. That was a crazy moment. But now we're all tied up. TSM have brought this one back against Dignitas. Drone is going to be stopped instantly there by Cutler. They have so many ops just watching these different angles, and they've always been punished in this spot. Finally, though, Poise is going to get that kill from on top of the wall as he drops down. A different look here. As they've been going A quite a bit, they now force their way into the B site. They can get that spike down, and they can manage to pick up a round win here, of course, if Sabrosa and Wardell have anything to say about it.
Yeah, there's so much to say about Sabrosa, but we'll go into that in a moment as we see if he is able to make this retake a reality. No flashes available, burned all of those in trying to take A main control, but Wardell just dashing forwards there, able to right-click onto Poise. So that's still the B main player, and that's a huge win early on here in this retake. And Sabrosa can't do any wrong here as he pushes forward. Sam, though, able to take him down finally up to Wardell against two players with the daggers out. Headshot found. Wardell is traded, though, by Superman. That got a little bit scary for Dig, especially considering how many advantages they had, but the quality is undeniable from TSM. And
I wasn't ready for that, Dan.
The quick point about Sabrosa is that the way that he's been playing his ultimate, he's able to charge it up so often, and he's able to get so much value in the information battle from that ultimate. So a huge push like this from Dig was a perfect response to the fact that they probably assume that Sabrosa, when his ult comes up, he's going to use that run it back to clear everything from around A main for free, basically. So there's a few different ways to play around it, and that was one of the options, and it worked for them.
The lingering question about Dignitas has been, how do they respond? A double flash, actually, for Sabrosa. He's looking to force out of position here. Nicely done by Shanks. manages to pick off a kill on B main against Wardell, giving them some freedom to work with, and it's also going to put some fear into TSM here for the time being. They're going to be playing cautiously and playing for a trade, especially in the instance of what is going on over here with Drone and Subroza. The only player here that will be prepared for this is going to be Som, and they've managed to go and take a little bit of control of mid. Spike is not going to be grabbed, and they back away out of this. But they've left a trap wire there in case they can get some intel that the flank is going to be coming through.
Yeah, Wardell's push there in B main as well was the right call, because you're expecting to pick off an one player who's on the extremity just holding the angle, but there's actually more behind that. And I think it's the read was there because Subroza is like, we have a heavy battle around this A main position. So they didn't expect Dig to be around B main really, except for with one player. But now we get the reset into this, and Subroza has all the information with that flank, so they know that this push is coming, but it's a question of can their entrance, can their set piece do the damage that is needed. Poise needs to really win this fight, dancing with Cutler on the bomb site as Superman to trade him around the corner though, and it looks like Dig should have an in on this one, but Hayes almost gets two there to make life a little bit difficult.
Now Subroza, he's going to try and bring this one back in their favor, but Poise use that res to bring Som back into the action. They're now going to be scattered around B here, but Subroza alive, that will be a problem. He has a blaze wall, but no one will actually be able to deal with that. He won't really even need to use it if he doesn't want to, mostly because of the fact that they're all going to be stacked away inside of B. They also do have the drone, so they know exactly where he's going to be located. What a play from Som. He shot him through the wall, leaving Drone just to be the only player left alive. He knows one's going to be located by the boathouse, and the rest of them are going to be scattered around here on site. Drone maybe trying to play a little bit of stall, get them to invest some money, die a bit here on the exit. As he's running away, they're going to be going right into one another, and he's going to make this expensive for Dignitas, as they will bail out of this, and they will get out of dodge in time. No Poise dies, but that's okay, though. They get the round win.
It's actually really interesting in Valorant, that's different to CS. In some of these scenarios where you have someone playing for exit kills, there's this added dimension of the reward of getting those kills translating into your ultimate generating more quickly. And that's a really interesting thing to weigh up against, should I save my gun, or is my agent's ultimate the difference in actually getting the advantage in the early round exchanges and so on. So really, really interesting stuff. And I love how Dig have come back into this one again after TSM took 4 rounds in a row. We'll have to see how the dynamic plays out now. It's more mid pressure coming out from Dig. Not as much around A main as we're used to seeing.
Yeah, this is actually new. They haven't quite given us this look here. Hayes could play spoiler to this, because of the fact that they haven't done this before. Hayes is going to find Def through this, and he's got Shanks there as well, but he backs away inside. He's going to concede that, but he's going to hold this tight angle, and as soon as he pushes this, he does manage to get the kill, and then the paranoia doesn't land, so he has time to get back to the button. He can TP over to the other side by the Jenny. They're going to push this, and he's swirling around their Poise as he came outside of that room. While that was all happening, though, Som does challenges Subroza. A-site is available. Spike, though, not in anyone's hands at this point. They'll have to grab this. The wall's played, too, so they'll have to shred through this wall instantly. I like that slow orb, too. Just more stall, causing more problems for TSM.
Yeah, this is not looking good here for TSM's retake attempts, but of course Wardell's alive. He's got an operator in hand, so he can never count him out as he looks to see the first, well, who will be the first engager, and there is some information all there tagged by the recon dart, and that's certainly a problem. Wardell will try to back away here, not before taking down Shanks, and maybe now he likes his chances after that one. 2 players left, dropping into the side. Oh no! So insane!
Oh no! Oh my God!
How on earth has he done that? He's
What?
got plenty of times for the defuse. It is pedestrian here for Wardell. Business as usual as he clutches out a 1v3. That doesn't make any sense, Alex.
No, it doesn't. It makes no sense. The only thing that he could have gotten the note was that Som was weak. But even then, what? He just challenged in hell like it was nothing. So it's this kill right here that gives him that inclination. As DDK, you rightfully pointed out, he's like, maybe there's a chance here. He sees that there's one player low. How does he nail this shot? Poise is kicking himself for not killing him. And then Som got caught with his bow and arrow. Oh, that's a euphemism somewhere, but somehow, some way, that is just a...
We might be looking back at this play as one of the... I mean, this is the last map of this series, and hold that thought. We have a lot of action here towards B main. It's looking like we had an exchange there already. There's been some damage done to Wardell. He took an aggressive angle with the operator, tagged down to 25, forced back. And the question is for Dig, with the buy that they have, which is, I think, decent enough.
It's a bit scattered.
What are they going to do here? They have forward positioning. So Poise is going to make the noise here. So Wardell has to look up there every so often. But will he peek it? That's the question. And that's the question. Might be waiting for some distraction from a teammate before he tries to swing that angle. And there's Wardell once again, back at it with the operator. The man cannot be stopped here. He makes it look far too easy, but eventually he will get taken down.
At some point, man, the clowning needs to stop, but they do try to delay this. A nice Hunter's Fury there for Drone. Doesn't get any connections. They will freely be able to get the spike down with time. Plenty of time remaining now. Superman's going to go for a cheeky play here with the teleport. Where does he go? He's going to get information. He's got all the info. He knows exactly where both... Well, he knows where Subrosa is, but Drone was actually hiding in the corner. So they don't know that both of them are going to be located, and they did not get the tag with the recon. But this shot with recon should give them the idea of where they're located. As Sam tries to push up on this right side here, does locate Subrosa, but Rosa with the better gun is able to win that one out. Both players are going to be hanging out in the back. This blaze wall now can actually be the advantage as he looks to get better positioning inside. Time is going to be ticking. He tries to heal a little bit, but he doesn't get much out of that one. They're going to be in the back. They don't care if they die out of this one. They just get it. They do not give them the win. And 7-5, Dignitas will go with the lead into the half. But geez, TSM did not make that easy.
Yeah, really great half. And oh man, it's just so crazy, like some of these rounds, and this could have very well have been an 8-4 advantage, if not for that one Wardell clutch. And as I mentioned, we'll have to see, is that extra round that Wardell gave them that they had, you know, statistically, like no business winning. They were at an enormous disadvantage in that 1v3. Is that round going to be the difference?
It was a 1v3 with an op, and he had no choice but to drop from scaffold and take a fight in hell.
Two 180s. Yeah. 2 180s back to back.
Oh.
Drop 180, reset 180.
It makes no sense, DDK. It makes no sense.
Well, here we go into the next half, and it's going to be really interesting to see what we have at, on display from these two teams. I mean, that's the cool thing about Valorant. Like, you know, you're talking about matchups, you know, being different, map to map things being different, but based on the composition of a team, the halves can play out extremely differently from one another, and so that's something to look forward to. We have that B lane from TSM early on in this buy, and we have Cutler placing the kind of the utility to signal if any Dig players are going to be pushing the A main position, which would happen if, let's say, Dig are heavily push towards this position. Sometimes you may have a stack where you're playing a heavy retake, where let's say you put 4 on A and you're playing really aggressive towards A main to catch off a couple players. Maybe there's nobody there. You send everyone and pushing all the way through. So having information like with the tripwires is really good to keep you in the know as to what the other team is doing in scenarios like this.
Well, we do have a pause, at least for the time being here, and I'm still like, I'm still blown away by what we just saw, bro. That was one of the craziest plays, and I thought Dicey's play yesterday was the best play that we've seen in Valorant, and that actually might be like, it has to be in like top 3, you know, it has to be top 3.
It was really sick.
That was nuts.
Yeah, and I loved a lot of the attacking rounds from Dig.
Yes.
I think in that round they actually opened it up with something they hadn't done before, which was actually a contact up cat, and it just highlights and I love kind of seeing these differences between the smokes. For example, we highlight the difference very quickly between the Brim smoke and the Omen smoke. In Omen smokes, you can get all of your team basically in the smoke, and you can contact through it because of the nature of how big it is and so on, and that's something that they use to their advantage in that contact play. So. But here we are. We're back into it. The second half on the deciding map of this best-of-3 series between TSM and Dig. The trash talk has been flowing, and I cannot wait to see where it goes once we have a winner.
What an incredible series, man. It did not expect this at all, given that yesterday, if you watched yesterday and you saw Dignitas play against Cloud9, you're like, yeah, Dig does not have a chance here against TSM. Perhaps that was going to be a fluke. But clearly, Dignitas have a lot to give us here. It makes me wonder what happened in that game yesterday against C9. Or, dare I say, Lex will kill me for this, is C9 just that darn good right now? We'll find out. That'll be tomorrow. But for right now, let's live in the moment here as Poise is going to be trying to answer back for some players that are going to try and challenge here on long. You also have Superman, who does not stay alive long enough, but does a decent amount of damage, though. Paranoia is going to connect here. And that actually creates just a whole lot of commotion, leaving Cutler alone. Dignitas, a big pistol win here. I think that's the win that they probably would have wanted to get after that Wardell clutch, so they're okay with that one. And could even get this second one here in the pistol. Or the anti-eco, I should say.
Yeah, and I like the approach from TSM. Just like, I think, you know, if you can contact and do it in a way where you're very close to the site before the other team realizes where the bulk of your players are, that's you're always in for a good couple entries. But Dig, they're clearly feeling the confidence here. Some great performances from them across the board, and in the anti-eco, you need to really convert these. The game can look completely differently if they lose this round, which they are in where they have a lot of advantages. It seems like a given, but it's in Valorant. There's so much stuff that can happen. Some info for Sam with that recon dot early on, but that's just one player that he's spotted. It's very limited information, and we see that Hazed and Drone are gathering up by that tripwire in middle as well. So there's a pretty decent spread from TSM, collecting the ultimate orbs as well. I think they may have gotten the one towards A main too, and that's not a good sign.
Nope, not at all. That is not the kill it is not something I wanted to see at the top right of the screen here, because that actually gives TSM a window of opportunity to maybe go for B if they want. But just remember, I mean, look at the minimap. There's so much activity that's taking place in mid, as well as what's going on over toward A, that Dignitas, they have to play all these areas. They have no choice. They can't group up right now. They can't afford it.
A kill like that usually opens up middle, as Dig in this position on the defense have to play the sites. So you lose a lot of map control, and then the pistols get to kind of split you with less warning as to where they're going. It looks very difficult, which is why we get this Shanks push here. Needs the info, he's going to get the info. And he's going to catch them moving up middle. Oh, the worst possible thing that could have happened for TSM. But as far as Dig are concerned, they are very happy about this.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, in any other round, I think that you still can give TSM the nod that they might try and pull this win out. But they were in anti-eco, right? They had pistols, they had ghosts, sheriffs. There wasn't really all that much versus bulldogs that are dominant in these rounds from range.
I think one thing that's worth noting as well is, who is it that's actually getting that info? Shanks was the person in position to do this. One of the reasons why that's so awesome, having Shanks able to do that, is because he has a dash. So if he's actually walking into where the stack is going, he can at least dash out of there and not give away a gun, and he can actually make that info push safely. Whereas a lot of agents are not able to do that. So that's another detail.
It's Tailwind, best ability in the game, dude.
It is up there, that's for sure.
All right, so Shanks went for that shot early on, but the paranoia is actually going to force him back as a flash as well. But a good response there for Dignitas. The slow orb is going to stop any of the aggression that can come through. And they're going to slow this down, right? That's a plus.
Yeah, and sort of resetting into mid after that initial denial of B main control. So this is good early stuff from TSM, and going to have the paranoia aggressively sent forward to Catwalk. That's a double from Superman. That's kind of the amount of kills he needed to get with that play. And there's a running back from Sabrosa. He's got to make this count for something. He's going to clear tree and make his way into the site. He needs to catch trips if he can find them, but there are none to be found here.
Yeah, and he actually does not have an opportunity to plant spike, so they can't fully invest into this because he's going to go all the way back. Wardell, though, he's going to be there for the connection onto Def. As Sam gets cut off, Sabrosa does get back inside. So even though he had spike and all that stuff and he went back in, it's Wardell that opens up that opportunity for them to place the spike here. Now it's up to see what Dignitas can do in a 3v3 as Shanks waiting in the wings for this cloudburst to dissipate. Did eliminate that cam. So Cypher, your thought is either one player is going to be in wine or the other one's going to be located on the opposite side here, but it doesn't really matter as he knows that Wardell is going to be on the right, and Wardell, yeah, you tried to pull that one off, but it ain't going to work out for you, unfortunately, there, Shanks, and TSM do manage to get that win. A big one for them that they desperately need, especially after losing two people like that at the Cubby.
Yeah, and another thing that's really interesting too about this game is, what post-plant positions are better based on what agents are left on the that you're playing against on the retake. Obviously, that hell position when there's such few players left and there's no like mollies available or even smokes at that point, it actually becomes really, really difficult to deal with. So, nice heads-up play there from TSM in the afterplant, and that's going to get them back into this one. And we get a couple shorties, a couple sheriffs here from Dig, looking for kills here. Wardell able to pick off Def, doesn't get traded, and there's that tailwind you're talking about. Really creates an untradeable kill.
Yeah, he was able to bail out of that one, and this is going to be an easy kill for Sabrosa. Shockingly enough, though, and very well done by Poise, but he will get tagged. Oh, what? Poise? Okay, let's relax. let's relax. He's got res now. He also has a better gun. He has to wait out this paranoia here. He doesn't see that board. Oh my goodness, this is huge. Oh, but he gets the kill. Does not manage to pick up. Did he get a res off? I don't think he did.
No.
I don't think he had an opportunity to do so. But look at Superman. He's creeping in the corner. Oh, and I don't think Cutler is paying attention to this, but he's not paying attention to this angle, and he wins that fight. But now it's going to be Shanks. So Shanks is in mid.
One dagger will do it. He's only got 47 HP.
Oh
Alex.
my goodness. And he's got a whole lot of knives to work with, but he doesn't have double updraft, so he can't get over that wall. But they're going to run into each other, and Shanks with a big kill against Hayes is going to get Dignitas into double-digit territory.
I guess that's why he's called Shanks, Alex.
I like that. That's a good one. Just hit him, shanked him. That's, you know, hey man, you do well in Brooklyn. You know?
Oh no, that's such a devastating round to lose. That's insane. Oh my god. Poised. How did he get so much value? And the fact that, you know, Wardell just, he didn't check the corner, and that's
those are the plays you can't quantify, though.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like, that's just a clutch. That's literally all it was. It was a mid-round clutch. Poise just comes up huge.
Wide swing with the Sheriff. with the recon on him as well.
Yeah, like, oh, dear Lord. That was just wild. Anyway, here we go now, folks. Dignitas, they're marching closer. What does TSM do to try and answer back here? Some attention's going to be focused toward A main. You also have this attempt from mid-control here that Sabrosa's going to secure. It's not the cleanest. They also still continue to have that trap wire. You know, I like this wall because now it just gives them added protection. They removed the trap wire, so they still know that, like, okay, there's something here. They're still thinking about mid.
Yeah, it is really annoying to have to spend time and energy and actually taking it down, shooting it, and so on. In the pro matches versus like matchmaking, it's a very different dynamic in that sense, and because you don't want to, TSM don't actually want to give away any information at all in this round, and so they're just going to rotate all the way to B main. So that wall's actually caused some problems. Now, I'm curious what their entry plan is here. Obviously, they have the Sova Dart, which is always very useful, and they can get the Dart covers out there too. And Wardell's going to try to run distraction towards the A site, but right now it's only Cypher there, and indeed they're relying on the cam and the trips and the angles. And so Wardell might struggle to find something here, and they are relying on Wardell to get something.
Imagine he just shoots the wall.
I think they're changing their plan because Wardell's seeing so little. It looks like they're just going to rotate back to A. I think they think that Dig are all the way towards B, but Dig have made it back in time.
Superman's going to be there for the contact, does manage to get one kill, gets a second. He burns, though, and actually will get wiped up by Hayes from that Spectre. Meanwhile, Wardell's looking for an angle. The paranoia, there's not a lot of time left to work with. They have to make the bait here. They have to go for the plan, of which they managed to successfully do. Oh, no! Actually, the swing. Def gets 2 kills. Is he going to have enough time? And big kill there for Def. 3 kills, stays alive. He was there the entire time on A site. Even though his one mind was on B, he always had his heart at A, and because of that, they managed to pick up that win.
Oh, my God.
This is scary.
This is getting really bad here for TSM. This is really difficult. Dig are looking so good. The problem for me in terms of TSM's chances is, as well, is that Dig are actually being very clutch. And if you imagine like some of the rounds that TSM won, it was rounds like that Wardell 1v3 and just like some crazy shenanigans. So that just points all signs to Dig just playing a better Ascent right now overall. And
I should have went Dignitas.
I know. You're telling me.
Wait, the coin went Dig, didn't it?
It did. The coin went Dig.
Oh boy, folks, this is wild stuff. Dignitas have the opportunity to go to match point, series point here against TSM, who are on an eco round. They need to make magic happen here. This is the round to do it. The clock is continuing to tick, and Dignitas, they're going to play this one very safe. A group up over here on mid. Some information trying to be garnered over toward A, but you're not really going to get much out of this. The first kill comes through here. Shanks did see 1. Def gets 2 kills. He's been lights out this series as Shanks backs away, 6 HP. And no Sage to be able to give him heals, but Psalm was there for the connection. Coming out of the mid-market, it's only down to Cutler, the last player left alive here. He has just nothing that he can possibly do can win this one back. If he's able to do this with a Sheriff, he has Spike in front of him, but he only has 38 HP here, people, and 30 seconds remaining. All they got to do is just play these angles and let the time be the enemy of TSM.
Yeah, you're completely right. It's such a difficult spot here for Cutler. He has a gun, but he doesn't know where his opponents are. The door's up as well, which will only serve to extend his route. He wants to take the shortest route possible, which forces him to shoot the door. Out comes the Sheriff, but out comes Superman as well. And that's it. It's going to be match point here for Dig. 12-6. TSM need a gargantuan heroic recovery, and I don't know where it's going to come from because they haven't found really any success from their defaults on this half yet.
I mean, right now I am absolutely stunned. You know, there is a point to be made that Drone has been a little silent this game, 6 and 15.
That's true.
I'm not really going to weigh much on Color because he has been on mostly on the defense solo duty, so he was not really in the action all that much. But
yeah, I think Color and Drone were towards the B, Drone was anchoring B, and there wasn't a lot of stuff happening there, I think, as well. So yeah, he's just cold, unfortunately.
All right, well, it seems like we are having a pause here for a moment in match point, and I cannot stress enough, people, like what we're seeing here. It is a weird world. Okay, if I could really, if I can encapsulate what this means, it's just weird, because DDK yesterday, Dignitas. And I hate saying this because you know, me and Sam are boys and stuff, but I gotta be real. They look like bots. They got handled.
They were looking really rough, yeah. Well, we're going to be back into the action, so we won't have to belabor that point too much. And Psalms, speaking of the devil, and he shall appear.
They're going right into this one.
Yeah, he's going to get some action.
Some drone wars happening, but Sam is going to get some information. Only one. He knows the Silva's going to be there too. Oh, Superman is going to go down. Wardell, right? We were asking, what are they going to do? Who's going to open this map up for them? It certainly is going to be Wardell as he makes his way over toward the site. He dropped down. They heard that sound cue too, and no one else has been able to get inside of there. Hayes, though, does secure the kill against Poise. Bomb is going to be located, so Spike's outside of B main, and they're doing all this stuff without the Spike on site, and they know, Psalm knows that he is going to be surrounded, but Shanks just gets himself another kill. Shanks in a 1v3 now.
He's going to have to do what Wardell did to Dig, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do it against Wardell. He needs this element of surprise. It's the only thing working in his favor, and he's actually going to back away here. But Wardell is on the angle already, so able to dash away and escape Wardell. So he should be good to survive now. They should be able to take him down. So let's take a quick look at the money situation and the ultimate situation here. So in terms of the money, this is a really good save. Actually, Sam has a lot of cash, so Sam will be able to drop maybe even a couple people here. So they're going to have a full buy in the next round. We'll dig. And in terms of the ultimates, we have Sam on that Hunter's Fury ready to go. Drone as well. Yep. We're going to see this next round is going to be pretty hype. It's
going to be a laser light show,
yeah.
to say the least. You're going to see a lot of lights here, people. But Dignitas, they'll hold on to this op for the time being. Sniper rifle going to be very vital for them. But now this is it.
The question is, how do you set up your? Because there are some ways to set up Hunter's Furies. By pressuring certain positions, and like we talked about the orbital strike on Bind, where you can really condition the opponents to fight for an area, drop a slow orb on it, and drop the orbital strike on it to punish them. There are ways to do that with Hunter's Fury. It's a bit more difficult though, given how precise you must be. But we'll see if they have something up their sleeves there. If TSM need to pull out everything.
Yeah. At this point now, you're not saving it for Sentinels. You have to worry about Dignitas because they're the problem. And I think that Sam is like, okay, well, you want to go ahead and bust out the playbook? I'm just going to go and sit behind this wall and go burr. And I respect that because he did do a decent amount of damage to Drone there. Now here comes the Hunter's Fury from Drone. Doesn't hit anyone. But Subrosa, through all of that commotion, gets a kill onto Shanks. So the operator player is going to be down. He's also just checking the cubby. He's forcing a lot of attention this way. But watch out on the flank because you have Superman who has managed to creep his way around inside of the tree.
Oh, the res comes through though. That res is so important. And now they just rotate all the way towards A. But again, we have to know now that the ultimate advantage is, there it is, it's coming through. The Hunter's Fury is making its way all the way to Catwalk. The damage is absolutely enormous there from Psalm. And now it's a 3v3 situation. Can they get the spike down? They should be good to do so.
And they're all weak.
Dig are hot on their heels though here. They're ready to go for this. And there's the recon dart ready to go for when everybody's in position to get that info that they need for the retake.
They're all weak. Spike is down though. Watch out for the players that are going to be in the scaffolding as they're going to try and go for this challenge here. Shanks, he's looking for the angle. Sam has that Odin. Is he going to find some contact low? Def gets into sight. This could actually be a problem here, but TSM have spread themselves out. Subrosa's still going to be hanging out by Spike. He's there the entire time. They're not going to give Shanks any angle to play around with here. The camera has actually identified where Shanks is going to be. And Psalm, he has to be careful here, but Psalm does manage to get one kill. Subrosa, he finds himself one as well. Is this going to be it now? As Subrosa, he's going to be the last man standing. He doesn't have a lot of health remaining, but Subrosa, he has one more remaining! Oh no! Is it enough? He has enough time! I can't believe it! TSM are out of Pop Flash! TSM are out and Dignitas move on to the playoffs!
Let's go!
That's absolutely astounding. Dig just defying every expectation.
I think Subrosa thought...
I look like he thought that he'd done it.
I think Subrosa thought he won.
I think so too.
That's how we do these. That's what I'm talking about.
When I was watching that, I was like very confused.
He sprayed and took out